So you go to JT, Jack Tripp.
You didn't have
connect
JT
the
next
server
to his name.
BCCO server B.
Oh, okay.
George
And then
Martin, he's
mute
too
yourself
late.
on Zoom.
He's just doing, I'm sure he's just doing. Bill Sin, okay, yeah, he only had a T next to his name. Okay, I see the problem.
So he's not doing Jack Tripp tonight, he said.
Okay.
And just, Ken, can you disconnect your Zoom audio, please?
Yeah, I think you're
good. Thank you.
Everybody else has checked it. If you're not, it's too late. So Jen, I think you're a free woman.
Thanks, Ellen.
Thank you.
That was hilarious.
I will hear you on Jack Tripp.
Okay.
Come on, let me start. So is anybody here? Ellen, it's Pazit. I'm on Jack Tripp. I'm connected to server A. I don't know what to do. I can't hear you now.
Okay, so it's now 7 o'clock. I mean, so you're going to stay in Zoom. I'm going to be staying in Zoom.
Okay.
Okay.
This session. 2 sessions, one focus on Brahms and a survey of some of his works for piano and choir, for orchestra choir and a cappella chorus by itself. And then this wonderful piece called Quilt Songs by 5 female composers that are all combining, just like a quilt, that have different colors and textures all together in this wonderful piece of various songs stitched together for August. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But as this is the last rehearsal for this semester, we're going to be taking a little time to sing through the pieces that we've explored and had a little bit of time to get to know during the semester, and also think about end of the year reviews and ideas for what rehearsals might look like in the fall, whether they are simply online or it's a hybrid, just like every single school is dealing with right now. So in any case, we are going to go through with our warm-up first, and then we're going to dive into some of the repertoire that we looked at this semester. So Julia, all yours.
Thank you, Ming, and hello, everybody, and happy Monday.
Hi, Julia.
So let's begin standing with our warm-up.
Julia, this is David. Right before you start, we did not get a chance to do a pipe to Zoom sound level check right before we got here. So when you get everybody singing, can we do a little sound level check at some point in the warm-up?
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
That sounds great. Okay. So let's begin standing, everybody. I cannot stand since my microphone setup is the way it is, but if you are able to stand with your microphone, or if you don't have a microphone, please do. And let's reach up to the sky, everyone together. Nice and tall, ballet arms, or you can imagine you're holding a giant beach ball. This is great because it really keeps you nice and open as you're feeling like you're lifting your ribs off of your hips. So that's the goal here, is to not kind of crunch anything as you're reaching up, but to keep everything open as you're also at the same time lifting your rib cage off of your hips here. And let's go ahead and crunch a little bit and grab one wrist and pull that arm up and over so you get a nice good side stretch. Excellent. And then let's come back through center, find that beach ball for a moment, and then do the other side, up and over. Yes, good stretch noises. And let's come back into center one last time, finding that beach ball, and then coming down into the cactus. The best stretch ever, in my opinion, my humble opinion. As you're stretching, really relax your shoulders, make sure they're not kind of crunching up towards your ears, but your shoulder blades are being pulled back and together and down. And then let's bring our arms slowly to our sides here. Roll your shoulders back 1, 2, 3 times, and then forward 1, 2, 3 times. Bring your shoulders up to your ears and hold them for a second. Bring them up even further, and then let them drop. Excellent. And now take a nice deep breath in and give a nice sigh out. lion face. Ah. And make a lemon face. You've just bit into a bit of citrus and it's too sour. And then a big lion face again. Ah. And then citrus face. And then let's chew grass like we're cows. Great, excellent. And go ahead and give your jaw a little bit of a massage. So you can massage. Sorry, I'm turning so you can see, but then you can't hear me. I'm massaging my jaw here, up where my headphones are actually kind of covering, but your jaw socket up here. And then also after you massage that nice and well, you can bring your fingers down to where your chewing muscles are. You can actually go ahead and just kind of very gently kind of clench your molars together and feel that muscle kind of jut out. Find where that is and then give it a nice little massage and relax it. Excellent. Then take your fingers, your thumbs, and stick them underneath your chin here to massage your tongue base. And make that nice and relaxed. Make it feel nice and soupy and jello-y. And then let's take our fingers, imagining that we're holding keys in our hands, and very gently along your neck here, so not on your larynx, but to the sides of your neck. You can kind of twist down the sides of your neck here for a nice, great massage. It's really nice. Right? Feels nice. And then let's take a couple more small massages here. Take your fingertips and run them up and down the back of your neck here. And then over your shoulders, that'll be the last one. Just kind of massage your shoulders as you need. It's good to just relax some tension that we accrue during the day before we sing, so we can have a nice free and relaxed and open sound to the other side if you haven't already. Excellent. 2 more seconds. And back to center again. Roll your shoulders back a couple of times. And find that nice, great, tall middle space. Your heart space is open to the world here, and you're also not at the same time just kind of like pulling your shoulder blades back too much, but you have a nice tall posture, but it's not strained. It's relaxed at the same time. And now everyone, one more time, take a nice deep breath in and yawn it out. Now everyone pant like a dog. Great, excellent. So that gets your diaphragm moving, the panting like a dog. Everyone do that one more time, but actually place your hand on your diaphragm as you're doing it, so on your belly, and feel that engagement. Here we go. Yeah, you can really feel a lot of engagement here. So using that diaphragm and that engagement there, we're going to do that kind of choo-choo train that we did last week. So we'll start with a full measure of quarter notes, full measure of eighth notes, then 16th notes, and then a whole note, so it'll sound like ch, 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 just like that. So everyone take a nice deep breath. Also just have a good focus on your diaphragm here. So put a hand on your belly to feel that engagement as you go. Here we go. Ready, breathe. Great, now 16th, here we go. Great, and then whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4, ah. Great, nice work.
Julia,
stay engaged. Yes.
This is Christian. Do you mind if I break in for 1 second?
Absolutely, please do.
The folks who are on Jack Trip, we've got 2 folk who are making very loud sounds. Somebody is eating dinner or playing with dishes, and somebody else is typing very forcefully on their keyboard. And when you do that, it's quite a bit louder than Julia's rehearsing, so please refrain from noise. Thanks. Sorry for the interruption.
That's okay. Thank you, Christian. All right. Let's get into some singing, shall we? Let's start here and start with a nice NG sound. So the ng in the back of the mouth here, and we'll sing and. Beautiful. warm, focused tone. As we sing a few more of these, make sure that that very first note is right on it. So as you breathe in, you're hearing that first note, and instead of scooping up to it, see if you can really hit the note right on. Let's try it. And. There it is. That's beautiful. Excellent. One more. Here we go. That's beautiful. Excellent. Now we'll start with the NG and open up to the ah. So we'll sing. The NG is on the first two notes, open up to the ah on the third. As you do, keep the ah focused forward, right, as you sing. So instead of falling into the back of your mouth, keep it forward in that same space that you find the focus for the NG. Let's try it, and. Great, nice job, very forward focus. Open up to the ah on the third note. So we have ah. Here we go, ready, and breathe. There it is, nice. Excellent, that's beautiful. Nice work. That's a really forward-focused sound. Now, one other small detail, really round or relax the embouchure of your ah, so that it's more like an AW, like ah, rather than like UH. Everyone go oh. Oh. That's beautiful. Sing into that space. So we'll go oh, nice and round and tall, and. Yes, that's beautiful. Keep doing that. Excellent. Beautiful. Don't lose that tall ah. Excellent. And we're going to go up a little bit higher as we do. You can actually reverse what I told you to do and sing instead of ah on the higher notes now. And as you do, really feel like your sound is kind of shooting out the top of your head, or you can imagine you're a unicorn or narwhal and your sound is shooting out through your unicorn or narwhal horn. That's a great place to imagine your sound emanating from as you're singing. Opening up even more on that high note. Oh, ready, and go. That was great. Keep going. Beautiful. That's actually one more. And. That is gorgeous. Nicely done. Everyone now take a nice lifted breath, lift into that yawn space, and let's do our vowel flow together, kind of on a yawn sound. So we'll go. Exactly. So we'll do all 5 of those in a row. Here we go. One more time. We're ready. And. That's beautiful. Nice and lifted. So that's always the space that we want to be singing in, right? That kind of lifted head space that you feel your sound is always emanating out through the front of your face here as you sing. It's so difficult to talk about vocal anatomy and technique with the really thoughtful and eloquent words. Let's go ahead and sing now ooh-ee. So we'll sing ooh-ee. But use the ooh to actually set you in a really beautiful place for the E, because we've talked about before the E vowel tends to spread into a smile. You want to keep it rounded. So use the filter of your first vowel, the ooh, and all you have to do is change your tongue. Ooh-ee. instead of ooh-wee, ooh-wee, keep it nice and lifted. That's beautiful. All right, let's all do it. Ready and go. Excellent. Nice, excellent. This is beautiful. Beautiful. Excellent. You can think ooh, as we get higher, because the E vowel is nice and small. It gets a little harder to sing the higher you sing. So if you think ooh, it opens up the space a little bit more. Let's start in the same spot and then we'll go up a few more. Ready and go. Beautiful, nice and open. Sing through your unicorn horn. Excellent. One more. That's beautiful. Nice job. Now we'll sing together. Moro, 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 moro. And really find the phrasing of this beautiful warm-up. So on that high note, really feel like you're crescendoing through it and getting louder and bringing momentum through the phrase, and not just kind of sitting on the note, but singing through it. So activate your breath, keep your sound moving forward. Let's try it. Ready and up. Excellent, nicely done. That O could be a little bit of a rounder sound. Listen one more time. Moro, 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 moro. Your turn. Excellent. Beautiful. Crescendo. Excellent. We'll keep doing a couple more of these and really blossom over that high note. So really feel like you're leaning into that kind of the last mo on the top of that high note. Moro, moro, moro. So that kind of last mo before you kind of come down the arpeggio again. Really lean into that and then you can taper. So imagine that you have a giant hairpin over this whole phrase. You're singing through and crescendoing and leaning into that high note. Let's try it here. Ready and up. Excellent. That's gorgeous. Keep going. Excellent. Beautiful, nicely done. Let's now kind of take, let's do this exercise, which is one of the first ones that I remember putting into my warm-ups, which was yo. On the way down, remember to keep it nice and lifted and engaged so they don't relax just because we're coming into more relaxed notes, but keep it nice and engaged the whole way, all the way to the last note. Let's try it. Ready and breathe. engage on, especially those faster notes are really tricky, right, on the way down. Think about that high note as being that same kind of crescendo that we were practicing in the last one. So when you get to the high note, crescendo through it so that you feel like you're not kind of stopping on that high note. So that it really leads you forward into the next part of the phrase here. We were just here. Let's give it a try one here, and then we'll keep going up a few more. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and. Beautiful, that's it. Excellent. Nicely done, last one. Excellent. All right, last thing we'll do is just double check balance and things. So everyone sing a D flat major chord. So basses. Go ahead and sing that note, basses. Beautiful. Tenors. Altos. Sopranos. Excellent. All right, and now on a ooh vowel, let's go ahead and do a crescendo, decrescendo together over 4 beats. The crescendo will be 4 beats, the decrescendo will be 4 beats. And just listen to the balance. And I know it's kind of hard to hear how loud you are in the context of Jack Trip here, but just kind of listen to hear what it sounds like to sing a beautiful chord together. So one more time. On ooh, 4 beats crescendo, 4 beats decrescendo. 1, 2, ready, and. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Beautiful. Excellent. Nicely done. Okay. One last thing. Take a nice deep breath and let's do a siren together from the bottom of our range. Up top and then back down. Here we go on a nice ah and. And with that, you may be seated from your warm-ups, and Ming, I will pass it back to you.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Julia.
Great. So as we mentioned today, we are going through all 6 of the pieces that we have spent time on through this semester. We're going to be trading off between Julia, Paul, and myself, leading us through the various pieces that we have learned this semester. And so the first clue for the first piece is the composer of this piece. Yes, it is Diegeton Lauritsen that was playing for. So please take out your O Manu Mysterium. And just like we did at the end of last semester, I would like you to, without thinking too much, just write down something that you remember about this piece. Maybe it's how you felt while you played it. Maybe it's something about the structure. Maybe it's something about the composer. Anything that is memorable about this piece to you, even a descriptor. For instance, this is really weird segue, but I really love doing taxes. Like I really, really love doing taxes. And the reason is because as a self-employed person that works with different organizations, I have to go through and categorize every single day, every single meeting, every single trip that I've taken. And so as a result, it's like a little journal for me. I say, on January 15th, before rehearsal, Julia, Paul, and I went out to talk about the season, and it was really fun and great. And so it's like a little journal for me. But as a result, we do something that sometimes I have a hard time doing during the season, which is actually reflecting back on what has happened in the season and to try to remember and capture those moments. And so the whole purpose of actually going back and thinking, what did we do in this semester? How did it make me feel? What do I remember about that? is to try to pull further into long-term memory, ideas about these pieces. So when you think of things like O Manu Mysterium, whoever composed, there's millions of O Manu Mysteriums, but if you think of Lordson, you have a definitive idea in your mind. And so I like some of these things, like Shining Light or Ethereal, Emotional. It's an old friend. There's something familiar about it. Lordson has a distinctive sound, beautiful rolling notes like Shining Light song. One of favorites of the semester, and feel like connecting to the universe. There's something very special about the way that Lordson has these beautiful long phrases that everybody's been talking about, right? And there's a certain movement, but yet the structure of the phrases makes it feel like it just lasts forever. And you don't get tired of them. You don't get tired of those chords. Is there something you remember about how those chords are built? And I'll give you 30 seconds before I sick Julia and Paul on this question too.
Major sixth.
Yeah, I heard somebody say that there's a major sixth, which is a hint to an overall way that Lordson writes, especially in this piece. There's ninths. Yeah, that's right. Sixths, ninths. There's also other things. So as we talked about, actually, Julia or Paul, if you can remember, how does Lordson create his chords and this special, we can say, shimmering quality to them?
From what I remember, a lot of ninths and 11ths, so ninths that we were mentioning, but also rarely we're in root position, right? We're often in inversions, which doesn't make it feel like that kind of home base, but really has that like more shimmering quality to it.
Yeah, and so you can actually directly connect it to these very descriptive adjectives that people are saying, ethereal, floating, right? And if you think of grounded chords, which are in root position, actually think about roots, and you don't have the root, then you have everything that's above it, like a tree without its roots is just floating in the air, right? And so that's a very a very visual way of looking at it. But then again, everybody's saying do, mi, so, mi, do. Do, mi, so, mi, do. That's the basis of every single chord. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. Just sing the numbers now. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. But Morten Lordson likes to add in ninths or the seconds. 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 3, 2, 1. But if you play them all together, you get, right? Instead of, you get. And then if you have the 11th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? Right, you can really make this sound very shimmering. I'm just making it up, but playing the seconds and 9s and 11s over and over again. And a lot of composers use that. And so these chords that we're going to sing, what I'd love to do is sing this twice. I want to sing through on oo and open up to ah if you need to, just so we can remind ourselves. So it's not just one pass, but then go back and try to capture that feeling of the intimacy of an oo, but also with the text too. So let's start from the very beginning. Paul, I might actually play this pass, and then I'd love you to play the second pass when we do it with the text. Okay? So basses. Nu tenors, oos, first tenors, sopranos, but then the altos on. Hold your first chord and ah. Yeah, that's it. And make sure not we're doing a flat ooh, but ooh, pure ooh, and ah. Much better. Yeah, I can hear it. Okay, now we're gonna do about this fast. 1, ta, okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3,
breathe. On altos. And wait, breath. Altos. Breath. And basses. And then hold breath. And hold on a second, everybody. I don't know if you can hear me on Zoom, but I think the server crashed. And so we're just going to bring that up in a minute. I have to note and be appreciative that at least the server crashed at the end of the line. So at the end of the phrase, everything was fine. So we're going to see. My jack trip looks like it's still on, and I don't see the server yet. So, oh wait, I see it now.
I hear you now.
Sorry.
Okay,
I
here.
don't hear me.
Test.
Yeah, there.
Okay. Great. Great. So let's continue where it says poco più mosso, not because we're afraid that the server might crash again, but because the composer asked us to get more lively. Bar 19, page 3. Again, the same as the beginning. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Altos. Breath. Alto note, breathe. Basses. Breath. And 1 sopranos. the beautiful chord. Breathe. The same chord. Breath. Tenor. And altos, basses. Sopranos. Tenors. And one. And wait. And oh, that's beautiful. I hear some bass being able to sing that low D. That's so enveloping. That sounds really, really, really beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay. Now we're not going to sing through every piece twice, but especially for the first piece, we want to make sure that we got through it really, really beautifully. Okay. Now, any other notes about this piece that people remember? As I'm going through, I'm remembering some of the things that we talked about, which is good for my memory as well, whether it's about the text or the structure, certain chords. Accidentals. There's one notorious accidental. Yes, the alto G sharp. So if you remember looking at page 5, for instance, there's an example of this on bar 39 and page 5. And the clashing with the altos and the sopranos. The only accidental in the entire piece is that G sharp. Happens twice, but it's beautiful. And again, like Penny says, some of the dissonant chords, they resolve, and there's this phasing in and out of the sort of tension that's built in between some of these chords. It's so beautiful. It's a master this in terms of the way the chords and the harmonies sort of phase in and out, like we're talking about. How these chords, simplicity, such an even tone, solemn. A definition of an accidental is just a sharp or a flat or any symbol that modifies the pitch of a note. So if you have a sharp, that means go up by a half step. If you have a double sharp, which looks like an X, you go by 2 half steps. If you have a flat, which looks like a B, looks down by half step, but you can have a double flat down by 2 half steps.
There's lots of things called quarter tones, which you can have a sharp that has an arrow attached to it, or a flat that has an arrow attached to that, either up or down. Lots of different ways. Those are accidentals. They're not just accidents. Those are very specific notes that he asked for. So let's try this again and do, the flowing. So there's a way of soft walking parts given to each section, leading them from or to a sustained note, and the retardandos and the tempis, a tempos. And there are many people that say music should feel like you're going somewhere or coming from somewhere. Now, obviously, that has to do a lot with romantic and more general, the main body of classical music, because there's certain music like Arvo Pärt, where he's just trying to like a drop of water that goes into the water and just spreads ripples. So it's very different than this music, which is very flowing, right? Let's sing it again. This time on text. And try to maintain, like I mentioned at the beginning, that intimate feeling of the ooh. One of my chorus directors in undergrad used to say, just make the sound of the music fit in the house of ooh, so that you create an ooh and all the words come from within that vowel. Here we go. Basses, tenors, sopranos, and so let's highlight Paul too. Where are you, Paul? Wo ist Paul? It's like, where's Waldo? But Paul, where is Paul? Add spotlight. I think I found you. No. Oh, we might have canceled each other out. I saw Paul.
Yes, briefly.
Yeah. Hi, Paul.
Is he there now? Aha! Aha! Paul. Okay, so here we go. Those fruit nuts again, and feel free to play quite firmly so we can hear you over clearly within the singing. But here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tenors. Beautiful.
Altos. And sopranos. Tenors. And 1, 2. And 1. And last chord. Beautiful. Such a gorgeous work. Such a gorgeous work. Thank you, Paul, so much. Such a beautiful, beautiful work. That's great. So next, we're going on to the Charlotte Bray. I'm going to hand it over to Julia.
Okay, hello again. Let me get, I guess, my video spotlighted. Give me 1 second. Okay. And hello. Open the beret. And before we sing through it, we're only going to do one sing through of the beret together tonight. But we didn't really get a lot of chance, I think, in rehearsal because the notes, wow, you know, it's a tricky song, right? But we didn't get a lot of time to necessarily talk about, you know, talk through meaning or anything, or what we felt as we sang or listened through. So out of curiosity, go ahead and put in the chat if you, when you were singing through this song, what did it kind of make you feel, or what did you experience as you were learning and spending time with the song? And after you spend some time with it, did it grow on you in any certain way? Why and how? I'll give us a couple seconds in the chat here. Bell clusters. Ooh, wind chimes and clusters. Yeah, absolutely. Gotta love it. Shimmering. So that other word too, shimmering, that we use for the Lawrenson, this song shimmers in a different way, right? It's really interesting. The words are so familiar in so many requiems. Yeah, absolutely. We talked about that. Ming kind of brought us through a bunch of other On You Stay movements from requiems and masses that many of us had sung before too. So similar words, but a very different kind of setting here. It's really grown on you. Yay, Catherine. Grantis' piece seemed especially meaningful during this time of the pandemic. Absolutely. And there are certain moments, I think, of the song that can feel a little chaotic, but also peaceful. So it's a nice combination there to sing through. Glory in the dissonance, however, a deep connection. Interesting tag teams among the sections. Absolutely. Okay, so keep these things in mind as we give a nice sing through this section. And let's go ahead and do it. So Paul, if you wouldn't mind playing along as we sing through. Great.
Okay, so here's the alto and soprano 1 and soprano 2.
All right, here we go. We'll go 1, 2, and up. Sopranos. And basses. Tenor ones, here we go. And all together unison. Crescendo. Nice job on that sing through there. I think one of the most amazing things is this very like almost searching quality of this very last section. It's a little, at least to my ears, feels a little desolate and searching as you're asking, grant us peace.
Thank you, Julia. Yeah. Oops. You can see. Yeah, like Julia was saying, I think we actually talked about this, right? But there's so many different unused days that are out there. And some of them say unused day, Lamb of God is very innocent, almost naive and childlike. But there is very, very different quality to this, right? And there are some people that set unused days where it is yearning, like you're seeking, that you haven't found peace, and you're like, Lamb of God, grant us peace, right? And this one has sort of that, the slow growing, to me, so the anxiety that's built into it, right? And we talked about how those themes at the very beginning, just one voice part at a time, come in. But then as you get further and further along, they get further and further apart, right? And there's a lot of symbolism for some music that starts off disparate and then comes all together, for good or bad. There's one notable part in the War Requiem, Liberame, right? Libera, libera me, Domine. And there's that one part where all of a sudden they come together, and it's terrifying because it's one unison voice. And this is almost exactly the opposite. It's sort of disparate and uneasy because of that. And so that searching quality is really amazing. So we're going to move on to one more piece maybe before the break. And this is a piece by Daniel Elder at Westminster. And Julia is also going to lead us in this one together with Paul. So I'm going to replace I can see her. So add spotlight. Remove spotlight.
We've all become tech whizzes now. All right, so Ballad to the Moon, Daniel Elder. Time for something completely different. All right, here we go, right from the top. From the intro, Paul, here we go. Ready.
Beautiful. Such a gorgeous work. Such a gorgeous work. Words about this piece? Write. Feel free to write in the text what words. Oh, I don't. You can't see me. Hello. What words can you see? Reminds you. What things do you remember about this piece? Oh, I hear the typing. Sentimental of the awe of nature. Love this piece. Comforting. There's something about the added notes and the chords that reminds you a little bit like Lord Sin, my soul often comes into mind. Gentle owl. He wrote the poetry too. Melody rises from sustained long chords, wandering outside. Teenage fervor, beautiful accompaniment, yes. To me, it's the words that are so gorgeous about this. On moonlit night, I wander free, my mind to roam on thoughts of thee. With midnight darkest beckoning, my heart towards mystic fantasy. I think I told you all, for me, this took on extra special meaning because at the beginning of pandemic, more than a year ago, in order to get out of the house when the streets were not filled with people, not that they were filled with people, but in the middle of the night when everybody was sleeping, I would go out and the moon would be there and it would be really, really gorgeous. And, you know, you have those normal thoughts that you think about the moon, trying to look at various aspects of it, thinking about how many other people look at the moon, thinking about the phases of the moon, looking at the different sizes of the moon, right? Different colors of the moon, you know, whether it's blue, it's harvest, whether it's red, all those wonderful things. So this piece reminds me of all that. And for all of us, you know, you might connect in certain pieces to things and memories that are very individual. And that is part of the beauty of this, is that we all have different experiences, but that we come and can experience a work like this all together in a very beautiful way. And so this is a piece that, you know, like all of them, you know, want to sing together in person at some point someday, but it's wonderful to be able to hear people and sing through this too. So with that, we're going to take a break. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of moons. I remember Violet taught me all of them because, of course, she just kind of learned them all and then taught us all. But there's a pink moon. There are like lots of, you know, wolf moon. Isn't that one?
Yes.
And there's just so obviously so many
Strawberry
things.
moon.
Strawberry moon. When I think of moon, I always think of Salome and the opening scene of the two guards talking about one looking at Salome, one looking at the moon, and then they're trading off lines, and the lines could be, you know, about either one, and it just sort of highlights, you know, the mystical character of that play. But in any case, why don't we take a little break here? We'll come back a little bit after 8:10, and then we're going to continue with Paul leading us through the Earth Song. So a little break now, and we'll come back in just a little bit.
Go ahead, break there. Did you hear anything?
I saw this picture up earlier. jumped into the back of the queue. So I don't see that guy on here. Plus his Jimmy's on it. Okay. So that leaves us. Oh, so you want to end the A.
They passed out the song for the,
Okay, let's come back. Oh. I couldn't hear anybody. Okay, let's come back. So we are halfway through the repertoire for this season. We have 3 pieces left: the Earth Song, the Angel, and the Seal Lullaby by Eric Whitaker at the end. And so, as you know, we have wonderful music staff. Not only do we have guest people that come in, but we have people that are here every single week with us. That, of course, is Julia as our assistant conductor and Paul as our accompanist. And during Zoom times, you don't actually get to see, well, you get to see them quite a bit, but you don't actually, for me, it's a big difference having them near the stage and working together. And again, that same sort of connection, nonverbal connection that you normally have between musicians and singers and pianists and whatnot. And so we want to give Paul an opportunity to show his face more and for you to direct your attention to him as he's been accompanying and leading sectionals or whatnot. So we want to invite him to sing through the Earth Song, to conduct through the Earth Song, but also before that, do the same thing. Like, what are the things and words or sort of memories that you have with his piece before Paul leads us through this? So feel free to type in, because this wasn't the first one. I think this might have been this. What was this? This was in the middle. So we did this in the middle. We did DeKelly, Frank DeKelly. I guess you would say Francis, but what are some words that you remember from this piece? This is one of my favorite works, and there's a chorus, fortunate to say, that we listened to the recording of this. That was one of my favorite. It's very provoking, yeah. Insight provoking. Paul does great sectionals, music as refuge. Yeah, I remember this one being one of two pieces that were specifically about the power of singing, right? In this dark, stormy hour, the wind it stirs, a scorched earth cries out in vain. And oh, war and power, you blind and blur, the torn heart cries out in pain. But music and singing have been my refuge, and music and singing shall be my light. A light of song, singing strong, hallelujah. And through darkness, pain, and strife, I'll sing, be, live, see, peace. So, Paul, I'm going to play for you. You conduct. And as always, because we are with Zoom, remember that you should be listening as much as possible as you do in normal rehearsal to stay together. And that there might be a little bit lag on your side, but Paul is going to give us some good verbal cues every now and then too. And I will try to keep as close to what I hear and see Paul sing. So here we are. Basses. Sing, tenors, altos, and sopranos.
So I'll give you one bar for free, and then we're in. So, and I'm not going to count four. When I speak the third beat, begin inhaling in preparation so that we're all together on the one, and that the s of sing comes before the beat, and the vowel is going to be just dead on the downbeat there. And so, thank you, Ming. Sorry for that. Can I get those pages? Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Rehearsals. Confident and building, and still building. And here's our goal.
Beautiful.
you, everyone.
Thank you, Paul. Beautiful work. Now, I have to mention that I really like the fact that we spent a whole rehearsal talking about the R's and the scorched earth and cries and stuff, and it sounded great. Those R's really, especially in the sopranos, some of those that can be very hard to sing when you're singing high and you have to modify vowels a lot. All those R's came out really, really nicely. So really well done, and everybody, especially Paul. So thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Great. Now I want to, we're going to turn to the Angel. And the Angel I might play just because it's so crazy, except that I have to play from the computer. And so this is going to be a little funny. So the Angel, oof, talk about poetry. This is one of the ones that I absolutely love because to me, it's very, very different of a piece than before. So get some general comments about this before we get into this. General comments about this particular piece. Anybody? Oh, you can kind of see me. Depiction of ensoulment. What a great word. Ensoulment. Etymology is one of my favorite things, especially when you break apart the various aspects of a word. It's really a lot of fun. Anybody else? Mystical, universe like Scriabin. Scriabin's a fantastic composer, and we're going to be doing a piece by Scriabin with orchestra. And Scriabin is fantastic orchestrations. There's a piece of his poem D'Extase, poem of ecstasy, and it is unbelievable. There's this great clip of Berlin Philharmonic with their new music director. And I think I might have told this story before, but when they were choosing the new music director, you know, orchestras have a lot of things that they need to think about. Maybe somebody is really great with getting donors, and or somebody has a relationship with record deals, record producing companies, and so orchestras want that or whatnot. And they picked a relatively, famous, really great conductor, Petrenko. And when they asked why they picked Petrenko, because he didn't come with a record deal, he didn't come with fame and fortune stuff, they said, we just liked making music with him the most. And one of the pieces that you can really see that Bill did that a fifth time for the poem D'Extase is you can just see the intensity and incredible music making on his face. And Berlin Philharmonic, if you know, actually has something called a digital concert hall. And for a subscription fee, they can have lots and lots of different performances online for you to see, and the sound quality is amazing. Okay, let's read through this. The Angel, and just want to go through so many more. Out of the midnight sky, an angel soars silently down towards the earth. But the moon and the clouds upon the nightly watch perceive his celestial song and the chord that happens on them. He sings of a sin-free soul, of the sin-free souls, and how they dwell in peace within the paradise garden groves. He sings of the Lord Almighty, and his praise flows through this night asleep. He carries in his arm a restless soul to life's despair and faults, but something in his song remains in wordless keep within the soul. And long she suffers in this world of despair, but with a strange yearning worn, and never it fades, that tone from God with its mournful sounds of the world. The Angel, excuse me, by Tina Anderson. Your first note. Okay, here we go. I'm going to count a lot of this because this is hard to do. Here we go. And da. And nice. And da. You ready? Breathe.
one, and and
Let's
get ready, soprano twos, and soprano ones. Tenors. Get ready, tenor twos, two, and. Get ready, everybody. Hear your notes. Get ready, and one, two, three. And his song. Off except for the basses. And the last chord, here we go. And off. Hey, we got the last chord together. That is an incredibly difficult work. And, you know, the difference is that there's sort of literal painting of music, right? And as if Mahler does this a lot too. Mahler has the entire orchestra playing, but even though he has huge orchestras, sometimes it's just like 4 or 5 different instruments in various groups. And so it's really difficult because you really need to know exactly where you are and what's going on. And so I know it's been a while since that. So I want to applaud all of you. And again, perhaps we have that yearning in our soul for that music, right? That we know is there. One of my favorite parts about, there's this piece by Ravel called La Valse, the waltz, right? And it's an impression of a waltz. And even though he hated the term impressionism, it's fun because you listen to the piece and it's like you get the inkling that there's a waltz. Like you can't really quite tell, like you're driving up to the house, you hear music, but you're not quite sure what it is, right? And that sort of is like what this piece is. It's like there's this like sort of mystical quality to the music. And you're thinking that there's just like, there's a melody there somewhere. There's music that reminds you of this great opulent chords and everything. And I think that's what the power of it is, because it's exactly what the piece is about, right? The poem is about. It's the idea that, you know, within us and our soul is a celestial song, and we spend our lives trying to find it, trying to find the meaning within, right? That's beautiful. So for this last piece of the semester, we go back to the first piece.
and that is The Seal Lullaby by Eric Whitaker, who is the nicest guy, and he is so hilarious because if you've seen him in person or on a video, he has his like long, flowing locks of hair. And when he does rehearsals, he knows that everybody loves his hair. So he has this shtick that he does all the time where he just like tosses his hair back like Fabio and stuff. It's really great. So that's all I remember, like when I think Eric Whitaker. Oh yeah, the hair. So in any case, so Julia, with her long flowing locks, you have to add in a flip of the hair too, is going to lead us through the last piece of our. Wait, we should highlight Paul again. So I'm going to remove my spotlight. Find Paul within the gallery, the galaxy of the gallery. Add spotlight. Haha. And then we're going to go back to the beginning with Julia and Paul and The Seal Lullaby.
All right, here we go. Right from the top, Paul, would you give us our first note?
Okay, here's some bass and tenor, alto, soprano.
Beautiful. Okay, same thing, similar to what Paul also reminded us before the Earth song. Taking that first breath right before you come and breathe into the space you're about to sing in, so that right on the downbeat, we're right on time. Can we have the chord one more time? I did the same thing you did. Thank you. All right, here we go.
Crescendo right into the crescendo. Sopranos. Nice round.
Beautiful last chord, beautiful piece, beautiful playing, beautiful conducting, so many wonderful things. So I want to thank you all for such a wonderful semester. Of course, I want to thank our music staff. I want to thank Paul and Julia, of course, for all their wonderful stuff. Paul, of course, and Julia are going to be joining us during this summer, but I have to tell you something. This is Julia's last official rehearsal with us. And that is because by design, whether you like it or not, but by design, yeah, start my video. What happened to my video? Oh, voila. The assistant conductor position is only 3 years because the assistant conductor position is a position that is supposed to help serve as a springboard to other things. And as you know, the last two assistant conductors, Derek Tam, who is now a phenomenal harpsichordist, music director, conductor in the Bay Area, is one of the preeminent harpsichordists for early music. And then Eric Choate, who is now the music director for the San Francisco Boys Chorus and also works at San Francisco Symphony and whatnot. We have been very lucky with some fantastic assistant conductors, and that includes Julia Morris. And Julia, as many of you know, is going off to Michigan next year to start officially grad school. And Michigan is one of the top conducting schools in the US, if not the world, and has incredible programs. And she said herself that she felt really excited when she was there because it was like the right amount of pushing, like it was like, like the rehearsals and stuff were supposed to kick your butt. And, this has been a fantastic year with Paul and Julia because of pandemic, but also the past 3 years with Julia. And if you think back through all the experiences or whatnot, and so obviously on behalf of the chorus and everybody, we want to thank Julia. And to help do that, I'm going to pass this on to Marjorie, who is going to continue in some thoughts. So Marjorie.
I had to, we have to connect me again. Am I yet done?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Julia, words fail. You have captured the chorus in so many ways in the time that you have spent with us that we've studied long and hard. How do we tell you what you mean to us? And then it finally struck us that perhaps we should do that through song. Now, this is going to be like a first read through. So bear with us. Listen for the words, because they will tell you how very much we love you. All right. And Paul's going to lead us. And then we'll come back and we have a few more things to say. Not a lot. We won't keep you here all night.
I'm already crying. This is going to be
So Paul, take it away.
Thank you, Marjorie. I think most of you will be quite familiar with this tune. I believe that Christian is going to put a score up on the screen for everybody. He's going to share something. And there it is. So you see that the music is from the Yellow Rose of Texas. Let's just go through the melody one time, but let's not sing the words yet. We don't want to spoil the surprise. So just do, 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 do. About that tempo, we'll go about 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the whole tune. But now I hope that everybody's going to remember all the wonderful lessons that Julia has taught us over the many months in our warm-ups and with our diction and how we treat all our vowels so that we can have full comprehensibility of all these words here. So let's give it a shot. I am going to keep it just a little bit under tempo, but I'm going to give you a little bit of an intro. I hope it is very clear when everything's happening. Oh, and there's going to be a little tag at the end of every verse. Julia, this is for you. Here we go, everyone. Ready, go. Oh, Julia, we'd love to sing with you forevermore. We really make the rafters ring and shake the concrete floor. But we know that you must go and spread your joy elsewhere. We hate them anyway, you know, because we have to share. Warm-ups, you would bend and stretch while we would creak and groan. Our catchy notes we try to catch and end up singing bones. You labored hard and true, jack trip and practice tracks. You studied so to get through the hard parts of our maths. We love what you have done for us. Take our and chorus. Your spirit chorus. But oh, how blessed requiem, you took us to the heights. Our tears flowed, hearts of men with you in our blue eyes. All right, bring it home, everybody. Oh, Julia, we'd love to sing with you forevermore. We really made the rafters sing and shake the concrete floor.
I love you, Julia. I love you. Thank you.
We'll miss you.
Don't miss you.
Blessings, Julia, on your journey.
I think that somebody is going to share a screen with you because.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I appreciate my
I appreciate my direction to you.
So one of the traditions
for
some time at BCCO is for the occasional appropriate person, we give you a blanket.
We give you a blanket.
Now,
you're going to Michigan and it's going to be really cold. So we thought it was appropriate to give you a blanket, and David or whoever is making magic, if you will go full screen, that's your blanket.
Internet connection's unstable. Give it a second to load. I can't see it yet.
Okay, and if we can make it bigger, fellows, you don't need to look at me. It says bravo, Julia, and it is picture after picture of you rehearsing us and of you conducting us in concerts at Hertz, etc. with Ming.
Oh my goodness.
And your dates of service is our assistant conductor, and with much love.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much.
It'll keep you warm too. It's fleece. So now I have to ask you to do one thing for me, David. This is going to be a bit of a surprise. I have to ask you to do one thing for me, Julia. If David will give us back a full screen, I want you to go to the door to your room and I want you to open the door and don't yell.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm gonna have to take my headphones off.
You
want to see Julia?
Yeah, David is he's trying to get us back.
That looks
There's
like
an empty
Julia's
mic.
place.
Okay.
Her lair.
All right. I hear noise in the hall.
She has such nice plants.
She should be coming back on screen soon. Julia, come back.
If you can hear, there may be somebody
Yes,
visiting her.
Yes.
Janelle, Julia, can you come
Janelle,
back?
Julia, can you come back?
Nothing but a blanket on.
All right. All right.
Aha.
Yay. There
And
she
Julia's
is.
back.
Yay.
Oh.
So Julia, there's a card in there from the board for you.
Hello.
Julia, there's a card in here for the board from you. Margaret was
That's
just
right.
saying that they can hear.
Thank you. Thank you. There is. And there's we thank Ming for cueing us on this. There is a gift certificate to a wonderful place called Newland Batons, where you can go and have made for you the conducting baton of your choice, customized to you to the nth degree. So
It's right next to Hogwarts.
the blanket and the baton come with great gloves.
Ollivander's wands.
And yeah.
Okay, and the baton. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so excited. That is so thoughtful. Thank you so much.
All right.
So if you don't know, in the chorus, Newland Batons for conductors is really the preeminent place where you go to, and you can literally customize anything. What material, fiberglass versus graphite versus wood, the color, the handle, the shape of the handle, the weight of the handle, the length of the baton. It really is something that you can customize directly to you. And so when I order my batons, because unlike most people, I tend to lose my batons all the time. And as people who have to keep after me in the chorus know, I have like 5 extra batons all over the place. One in my car, one in my backpack, one on the podium and everything. But I'll call up Newland Batons. I'll just take another 4. And they're like, yep, we got all your specifications. So Julia, you can get whatever type of baton, and test it out, whether, it's wood, metal, whatever you want. So it'll be curious to see what it's going to be. We're going to be all analyzing the first time we see you conduct in Michigan. We're going to be like, what baton did she get? Did she get the teardrop shape or the pear shaped or the circle or the cork?
I feel like now I have to go and try out a whole bunch of different
Yeah, exactly. But aren't you going to be closer to them? I think Newland Batons is actually in the middle of the country. So
Ohio.
Ohio.
That's Ohio. Yeah.
So you can drive on your way to Michigan.
That's actually great. I'll go and visit my undergrad, which is in Ohio. And on the way, I'll go get my baton. Thank you so much. That means so much to me. I'm so excited.
Well, thank you for all that you've given us.
Yes,
It's been
thank
a
you.
wonderful ride. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could say just a couple of things as well.
You sure can.
I there's been a lot of time to reflect this year, especially, and I'm very thankful that I've had an extra year. It's felt like an extra year, even though I know that the program is a 3-year position, but it's felt like an extra fun, happy year because of the circumstances. And so I'm so grateful that I got to spend some extra time with everyone, even though it's been distant and on Zoom, especially in the past couple of weeks. It's been so wonderful to hear us all. And it was so great tonight to be able to hear us all singing through songs that we had worked before we were on Jack Trip. So that was really special. But I want to share one particular story with you, and that is the day of my audition for BCCO, when I came in and worked with you all for the first 10 minutes that I'd ever worked with you all. And I remember very distinctly I got there super early because I was so nervous that I was going to be late because Bay Area traffic, and I was sitting on the bench outside of the church, and the windows were open because it was late spring and it was almost performance time, so it gets hot in there, as you remember. And I was listening to the auditionee who was right before me, thinking to myself, oh, he's so good. What am I doing here? I don't have what am I going to do when I step up into that room? What am I I don't know what I'm doing here. And I was so nervous. And I had freaked myself out so much that I was this close to actually standing up and getting back in my car and turning around and going home.
We're
'Cause I
so
was
glad you
so
didn't.
nervous. And I'm so glad I didn't also.
Thank you for not doing that.
I'm so glad I didn't. And, something that set me at ease almost immediately was when I did decide to stand up. I steeled myself and I stood up and went inside, and Ming greeted me at the door, very cheery. And Chris was there at the door as well. And they were like, okay, it's your turn now. And I walked down the aisle, and as I walked in, I said, hello, chorus, and all 250 of you said, hello. And it immediately put me at ease. And that, I think, has been the general theme that I've experienced at BCCO, just a general joy and love and community. And as Ming was saying too earlier about, with the graduate school search, trying to find the right fit, my experience and time with BCCO really set the foundation for what I was looking for in my studies. And that is the right sense of community and joy and love of the music and wanting to be there all together and to sing, but also having a mentor that knows when to push and knows what you can do. And I was looking for, I think, when I was visiting, when I had all those in-person auditions, I was looking for the BCCO fit, and I think I found it at Michigan for the next step, and I'm so excited. And I don't know where the future will take me, but I do know that I'm always going to take a little bit of BCCO with me in my heart, and also my hand now that I have a baton.
And a blanket.
Thank you so much for the past 3 years, for every moment, for watching me fall down and picking me back up and giving me a space to learn and grow. And yes, it's been wonderful. And I'm really sad to leave.
Well, thank you, Julia, so much. Oh my gosh.
We're
It's
so
gonna be
proud
such
of
a
you,
change,
Julia.
But of course, we're going to be keeping close tabs and cheering you from obviously the Bay Area. And of course, looking forward to when you can come back and join us, which will actually be soon because there's summer sessions and you can still have more sessions with Julia.
Immediately
So join us for that. But again, Julia, you've been such a wonderful addition to the family. And of course, like we've been talking about for these pieces too, like all of us bring memories and our life experiences. And so you have made obviously a big impact on all of us and have wonderful memories. We have all wonderful memories of you too. So I think we're going to treasure that as well. And like I said, be supporting you from afar. So thank you, Julia.
Thank you.
All the best, Julia. Michigan's lucky to have you.
So thank you, everybody. This has been a wonderful semester and a wonderful 3 years, Julia. And of course, all the contributions of Paul, the board, the whole Jack Trip crew,
Tech
the whole,
wizards.
yeah, the tech wizards, all the people that have been working hard to make this crazy year something special. And as we go through, again, there's so many memories to look back on and think back on. I think that make this and BC so special. So thank you again. And, we can't be celebrating in person, but that'll be soon. So have a wonderful evening and hope to see you during the summer and hope to see you all, of course, making music and, of course, in person sometime soon, too. So, okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, Julia.
It was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful. Bye.
Good night.
Bye, Julia.
Bye, Julia.
Bye, Julia.
It's all
Thank
about
you.
Julia.
Thanks, Ming.
Thank you, Julia, for
Thanks,
everything.
Paul and Paul. Yes, thank you.
And disconnect. Yeah.
Julia, do you know where you're living in Ann Arbor yet? Oh.
Julia's now